I want to give you 4 thoughts. We purposely didn't put this up on a slide, but 4 thoughts for conclusions. And then I want to give you 4 ideas on a way forward. And then we're going to hit a couple of questions that have started to come in. So if you have one, go ahead and shoot that through the chat feature. Number 1, ESG and impact investing is not one concept, right? It's just easy to think that you just have to have the right tool or the right investment. This is a bigger category. It has different meaning for passive and active investors across public and private markets, right? So understand this isn't just one concept. This is a broad area. Okay, number 2, avoid getting stuck. I think because it can be complicated, it can feel like there's a lot, we freeze, right? So avoid thinking of this as a singular act. Find a useful entry point, right? So perhaps you have a private equity distribution and you've got some capital and you think, well, I want to put my toe in the water, right? That could be a catalyst for you. Number 3, integrate your impact investing and ESG investing into your conventional asset management, right? So normally, I know we've got some advisors on the call today. Folks are doing asset allocations, right? You can start to think through how much of my portfolio should I allocate to impact? You could do that on the taxable or the non-taxable side. I know for Michelle and I, we just actually invested in a Talented fund last month, and that's our second impact investment. We did one from Creation Capital, which is Chicago-based, that just was marked to market, and that's done very well. So we are just starting to get into it, and it's been good. So think of it in the context of conventional asset management. 4th, market returns are possible, right? So when we started 8, 9, 10 years ago, there was a lot of concessionary returns. You're getting the 2s and the 3% when really you're taking risk where you should be getting 7s, 8s, and 10s. That's started to come to the middle now. So you can go out, find dedicated investment professionals, connect with the folks you just heard about, talk to your wealth advisors who have deep domain expertise. This is an area that is really, has got a lot of potential, obviously, from what you've heard. And then the other thing I would add, just in that, every community has their own local context. And so for us, affordable housing is a huge challenge, right? You heard about that from Jeff. So think about how this could potentially not only affect those in Africa and around the world, but perhaps there's impact projects locally that you'd be interested in. So then secondly, so that's the first 4. I don't have a 2x2, I have a 4x4. So 4 ideas, right? It's not one concept. Don't get stuck. Think of it in the normal asset allocation, and then market rates are possible. And then the second 4 are really practical ways you can start to get involved, right? Number 1, if you have a separately managed account with NCF and your donor advised fund, you can work directly through those wealth managers into their systems, right? Goldman Sachs, Raymond James, they all have impact investments. Secondly, you can invest into these kinds of impact funds directly through NCF, like I did with Talented, right? So David Sims, their product is on our platform. You can do it that way. And we heard about that from David. Thirdly, if you have a deal and you are interested in figuring out how to engage that with your donor advised fund, and it's not on our platform, that's where Impact Foundation and Jeff John's teams comes in, and they can help you figure out if it's impact or not, and then how we would potentially create an arrangement. And then the last one is bring a deal. If you're out there and you're wondering, hey, I've got this great idea, but I don't quite know if it's impact or not. You just heard Jeff Schaefer talk about 4 or 5 different things he's working on. Bring a deal, and either Jeff Schaefer can vet it, Jeff Johns can vet it, we can vet it, and we'll decide if that's a way that you could invest through your donor advised fund. Or maybe it's something you do on the taxable side. So I know I went quick there, but 4 thoughts as conclusions and then 4 ways forward if you practically want to invest.